When you meet a lot of people, venture capitalists and all, is the first is passion only they look at?
Passion and your knowledge of the business. And conviction. And I got my first investment of $1 million, I remember at that time. I was outsourcing technology, I should have got a CTO guy on board. Then I realized I've not been able to scale and I exited the business.
Are we in dearth of ideas or executions?
I think there is no dearth of ideas. If there is dearth of ideas, then there is ChatGPT. There's a movie about auto rickshaw driver in Pune who suddenly discovers love for tango. Tango is from Argentina.
Correct.
And how, so this whole movie is taught and he learns tango. वो पहला YouTube में देखता है, फिर उसकी sister के साथ as a partner he learns the tango dancing and all that. And then the translation to India, Argentina culture. And what is improv now? They suddenly put you on the spot and they said start clowning.
Good evening. Today's guest is a man who believes that true success lies in creating meaningful connections, not just between business, but between people. Meet Manoj Gursahani, author, entrepreneur, global strategist, and in his book, Human Connects, he explores how authentic human connections can drive opportunity, a philosophy he always lives by. Let's welcome Mr. Manoj Gursahani.
Thank you.
Welcome, sir. How are you doing? I think you're just back from Lisbon.
Yes.
So, we'll start with a boy from Mumbai University.
Yes.
To a chair of Tiger 21.
Yes.
How has been the journey?
It's been a long transition from the boy to a man, should I say.
Yeah.
But well, as you move out from college and you move on, so then I obviously was an entrepreneurial journey actually started very early.
Correct.
So that time, though I was younger, my dad, I was very fond of traveling.
Oh.
So my father knew that passion for me. So he once sent me to a tour organized by some of the tour operator. I visited a lot of foreign countries. And then he saw my passion. He, along with my other brother, he said, why don't you set up a travel company?
Okay.
So that it started long way back, and we started a travel company. Those were days when travel tickets were physically written.
Absolutely, yes.
And we had something called as the blue and red ABC. You had to look at all the itinerary to make and all that. So I learned the hard way.
Were there any moments in college that moved you, sir? Like a friendship or looking up to a lecturer, or any example you have?
So in college days also, actually, I realized I had some leadership skills that time, because when there was a college elections
Fest.
going on,
Yeah.
or fest going on, I always used to go and participate.
Wow.
Okay, so I said, let me participate there and all that. So I realized there were some seeds of owning up or, giving out and things like that, and being participating in various kind of forums. So that was one learning. Second learning was true friendships are built in school and colleges.
Okay.
So realize the form of friendship, bonding, and as youngsters with different hormones running, there are different mindsets, but then how to get together and
Absolutely.
still that bonding also, one got an inkling of that.
Yes, sir. How was your the first thing as an entrepreneur? How it started?
So very interesting. I still remember the first ticket I sold was to Bangalore. Bombay. And I was so excited, oh wow, as if I've conquered the world. And you know what happened? That came in for cancellation.
Oh God.
So anyway, that was the start of the entrepreneurial journey. So, at that time, ambition was to build a large company.
Yes.
And so we did consolidation for various airlines and things like that. And then we built a sub-agency network largely, very young still that time, and started working on that. But then that kida on me said, abhi ye ho raha hai. And that was an early stage of .com coming in.
Yeah, I remember.
I still remember Sabbir Bhatia had sold Hotmail.
Absolutely.
And to take a step back, and I'll tell you the transition when I moved from a typical brick and mortar travel company to an e-commerce travel portal, which is Travel Mart India, which is the first e-commerce first travel portal. It was early 90s, first travel portal before any of the other ones came in. And there's a backstory to that. So I have a childhood friend called Jack, and Jagdeep, but we call him Jack in the US. So I used to visit him. He used to be studying at University of Hartford, UConn as they call it. So when I used to go to him and spend some couple of weeks in his house, so one day I saw a book called World Wide Web. मतलब ये क्या है देखते हैं.
हाँ.
So I opened up and that time the internet is still not.
Absolutely.
And I was just reading the whole thing. I said, boss, ये तो कोई story लग रहा है. World Wide Web is going to change the world. Like now how AI is changing everything. That time World Wide Web. And there were no connections from India properly, this, that, whatever. I went to the lab in University of Hartford and studied all that. तो एक समझ में आया कि that whole night I started reading the book. So anyway, fast forward, I learned that. And when I built my travel brick and mortar, and the Hotmail thing came in, as they say, knowledge doesn't go to waste. And I immediately said, कुछ करते हैं यार, and we started the e-commerce travel portal.
So was there any hesitation? People suggested you not to go for it, or
always hesitations have been there, but for me ulta hai. When people say mat karo, main karta hu. Somehow it's like it's in the DNA.
I understand.
So maybe it's the entrepreneurial blood in me. So then I said chalo karte hain. I remember that time there was no booking engine, so I built up I caught hold of some web designer. I said yaar aise site banana hai, ye karna hai, whatever, and he built up a nice website which was only 4 pages. Today what you do is booking engine, when you go, you book from point, it was more static side.
Okay.
I built that, but I realized the potential is huge. Then I said, and that was the heavy days of funding, huge valuations during the, again why I'm giving reference of Hotmail and Sabir Bhatia is because that's where the valuations went crazy.
So we used to read it in Business World.
Big
all
time.
This business, the Business Today that Sabir Bhatia bought.
इतना बन गया, इतना valuation ये वो, पर तभी मुझे venture capital का V और C भी नहीं पता था. I'm a young man who's So anyway, then I remember I went to the erstwhile Arthur Andersen. I said, sir, and there was a guy called, I met him, I said, listen, I want to make a business plan. He said, क्या करोगे? I said, no, I want a business plan, I want to raise money.
Okay.
This I was only learning, and he said, for a business plan, it'll cost you X amount. I said, I have no money because I am working and I have little money which I can buy.
That's the first pitch you have done.
First pitch, he made me do the pitch. But I told him I'll give an X percentage on the conversion. And luckily he saw my passion. He said, chalo, theek hai, karte hain. Fast forward, after I did that pitch, I still remember I looked at company. There were 2 companies I wanted to. So somehow my connection with Bangalore, there was a company called Walden Nico.
Walden Nico. Okay.
Bangalore mein tha, and I reached out to him. He said, pitch karte hain, chalo. So then but I had the global mindset ki ye kahan par reach hoga, online market, ye wo, that I had studied. That time Google obviously was not there.
Yes.
But I could understand. So I used all that, and then I'm pitching to that lady, and she said, Manoj, can you shut your laptop? Keep it. I want to hear your story.
Oh.
So then I told her, this is what it is, and why you believe from brick and mortar you should change. What is the impact? All that. So when
was there a difference in, she looked at your story, she looked at your passion, or what is
पता नहीं उसको कुछ तो समझ में आया कि ये पैशन है, कि इसको डोमेन नॉलेज है और पैशन है, उतना समझ में आया. That is what I felt.
So even today you say that when you meet a lot of people, venture capitalists and all, is the first is passion only they look at?
Passion and your knowledge of the business and conviction.
Business acumen.
Again, that holds true. Correct. So that time again I'd gone with zero expectation. So anyway, you know what she said? What are you expecting? You won't believe it, I had no idea. I said, I want to raise $1 million. She said, okay, $1 million, and we're willing to sign a term sheet, $1 million for 22%. What do you think about it? So my actually palms started sweating. I told her, can you give me 10 minutes? My brother was there. I said, chalo bahar chalte hain. I went to the toilet and outside that. And I said, kya kare yaar, mujhe kuch pata hi nahi tha. Ye to $1 million, and $1 million is $1 million, whatever Absolutely. Time. So, theek hai, let's go for it. So went back, I said, I'm okay, whatever. She said, before you leave, you have to sign the term sheet and we'll do a due diligence. I said, fine, a due diligence of a brick and mortar company. Okay. That happened, and I got my first investment of $1 million, I remember at that time.
Okay.
So that was my
what was the entire, if you look at that, your first entrepreneur journey, that you had an idea, you were passionate enough to present it well.
Yeah.
And she was quick enough to understand your passion and purpose. And I think you built it from there, looks like.
Obviously seems to be the case, and then I built it. But then I want to tell you about failure. So I built that, and I still go back and said, I wish I had hired a professional. So it was still a family-run business. I moved from a family-run business to a e-commerce thing. but it was still a family mindset, according to me, when I look back. Okay. So I could not scale the way I wanted to scale.
Correct.
My expenses became very high. I suddenly became very cocky. At a young age,
I know.
you want to be that when, then your
The
dreams start building up. You feel you own
bubbling
everything
energy,
and all that. People started interviewing me. I had my story front page cover in Business World and all that thing. So my learning from that, a time came when I could not scale. I luckily could salvage whatever I did and I gave it to somebody and exited the business. So my learning was that before I lose all the money, because my burn rate was very high, and again the second thing was I feel I was outsourcing technology. I should have got a CTO guy on board and given him ESOP. If I look back,
okay,
all
revenge,
all okay,
absolutely.
And so
the exit was right.
Exit, I don't know right or wrong, but I managed to exit.
At that time,
it's relative, but I managed
absolutely, to. So that if you look at the ratio of percentage of startups, India is a capital of startups, and the world is looking at us. And you meet a lot of people across the globe, and now that you're part of Tiger 21, so are we in dearth of ideas or executions?
I think there is no dearth of ideas. If there is dearth of ideas, then there is ChatGPT. So, and all the others, AI tools. So I think that there is a dearth of, say, ideas na, bahut jan ke paas hai. There are some people who every day get up with an idea.
Absolutely.
I believe beyond the idea is you have to see the addressable market. Execution is the key.
Absolutely.
Again, idea to execution is the key, and it's not going to be easy. The mortality rate is very high in startup. Why? Because people feel somebody else got the valuation, they look at success stories, but there are 99% failure stories. So not to discourage the thing, have an idea, build on it, bootstrap, put your own money, because when you're putting your own money, hard-earned money or whatever, your parents are giving you whatever else, family and friends, that's how we start with, then you know skin in the game, work for the thing that this is the only thing which will, so if you believe in it, last it, go after it, and suppose after all that you realize, ye nahi chal raha hai. Do a reality check.
Absolutely.
Have a mastermind, few friends who will give you a reality check. Then sometime fail fast is today very important.
Absolutely.
Somehow in that context, failure is seen not in the global context, in Indian context. Failure is seen, mere parents kya bolenge, mere rishtedar kya bolenge, what my friends are. Don't worry about that. You have the conviction, you didn't work, fail. You again get up, fail fast, move on. Don't fail so late that you never have the ability to get back.
I also see there's a gap between mentorship. A startup has come, it's 25, 26 years old, people who leave their job at 45, they have a crazy idea, and they put their chartered accountant, they put their Excel sheet in place. But the role of a mentor or hiring a professional, how does it make an impact?
I think it's extremely important. Hiring professionals. See, you might know a domain, but you need professionals. Now let's for a minute spend time on startup. Startup, the idea is good, but the guy who's a younger starter does not have the experience. So the consultants can get the experience.
Absolutely.
Functional experience. Okay, coming to mentor, again choosing the right mentor. It's like choosing the right guru is very important. Choosing the right mentor is very important. Some mentor who's been through that journey, who's not giving gyan,
Absolutely.
who's not giving all this kind of thing, who's gone through experience, who's gone through his failures, who's gone through a thing, and then he's mentoring you. So choosing the right mentor is important. Is mentor important? Very important, because Absolutely. He will show you and he will call it out. He will tell you you're doing right, you're doing wrong, you're running too fast, slow down, or you're going too slow, hasten up your space. So to answer your question, both. Professional and mentorship, both are required.
Today's startups require a professional who will, they are expertise in domain, they like that idea, they like the passion in which they put into the idea. Written a beautiful book, The Human Connect, which is the need of an hour today. How much ever businesses grow, whether I'm doing a job, whether I'm into a business, network is key. And one of the core values when I read the book and you believe in it, can you throw what is this giver mentality and how the networking should be approached?
So thank you for bringing it, because this is the core of my book. So it's in giving that we receive. In fact, there are many forums which talk about that, but I picked that up from very famous spiritual person called Saint Francis of Assisi.
Okay.
It is in his thing written. He's a mystic, and in fact, the city of San Francisco is named after him. San Francisco, San Francisca.
Okay.
So he mentioned it's in giving that you receive. So I picked it up, and of course, many I'll talk about, but knowing about it and following it and doing it from the heart, there are two different things, theory to practicality. So I believe in it because, again, not that, and again, it has grown. So I have done the same mistake. I've taken visiting cards, gone to a room like a rookie jab the, room mein gaye, and and I'm talking about my travel days only when I used to start my brick and mortar. I remember I was in Tulsiani Chambers. मैं विजिटिंग कार्ड लेके हर एक ऑफिस के सेक्रेटरी को जाके कार्ड देता था, अरे टिकट चाहिए, हॉलीडे चाहिए, ये करना, पूरा बिल्डिंग में, बाजू वाले बिल्डिंग, डालामल टावर, ये वो. नाउ व्हेन आई लुक बैक, ऑल दोस कार्ड्स मस्ट हैव गॉन टू द वेस्ट पेपर बिकॉज आई डिडंट मेक अ कनेक्ट. आई डिडंट कॉन्टेक्स्ट नहीं था तभी, बट आई वाज यंगर, अंडरस्टैंडिंग. सो आई रियलाइज जस्ट गिविंग विजिटिंग कार्ड्स doesn't make sense. So you have to first, before giving concept, you have to make context. So now what I say in my coaching also, context. So when we are discussing, so first ask the people, understand the need, understand what somebody is looking for. Somebody is looking, everybody has a pain point. Yep. You're looking for that. And then when you understand and you're listening to the pain point, then you start saying, okay, Niranjan, what can I do for you? Absolutely. You are in this real estate business.
So I am not asking, he has asked me.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you are asking the opposite person what his requirement is, not what I need.
Yeah, correct.
So when you start with that and saying and then you have to mentally say that, okay, what can I do for you? What can I do for that person whom I'm talking to? And that has to come from within. Is there a way? Okay, so let's say you'll say, my niece is looking for some internship in New York, for example. I make a mental note of it. And I need some medical advice for somebody in my family who's suffering from a chronic disease. So when you're listening and you're picking the notes up, and then imagine within 48 hours, when after meeting you, I go back and I send you a message, you wanted the medical advice, why don't you speak to this cardiologist? Or in New York, I have somebody who can help you. You're not guaranteeing, but you're getting back. Okay. So the moment that starts with fundamentals, that in giving back. So as you start saying it's in giving back, because the whole world, and I'm not judging, whole world is in receiving. Mujhe kya milta hai? What can I get out of it? And that's a human, what's in it for me? Absolutely. Okay, that's a human fitrat. That's a human tendency. Again, we are not judging it. Okay, but when you change that, and I was explaining that the 98% of the world believes in that, but if you are conscious of that and start giving mindset, then the magic happens. So I believe, and I can give.
Yeah, please.
There's one insurance guy used to chase me.
Okay.
Context ki baat kar raha hu. And he used to say, you know how insurance guy, he's doing his job, poor guy, he's trying to sell me his insurance, and because he'll make some money out of it. So to be very honest, I avoided his calls. मैंने block नहीं किया, but avoid करता था. तो फिर one day what he said, sir, he sent me a message, I still remember, sir, that means he done his research, I read your book, The Human Connect.
Okay.
And he actually repeated one para which he picked up. Okay. And he shared that one. That has been very inspirational to me. Abhi inspired hua ki nahi mujhe pata nahi. But he done. Now imagine, will I pick up his call next time or no?
Absolutely.
He connected with me. Yes. So I'm just giving that, and I have various examples.
But that guy worked on the aspect of how to connect with Manoj.
He realized my phone nahi kar raha, but he didn't give up. He went out, he read my book, he took the effort, he responded back to me. When he called me next time, I picked up his call.
So the intent was right. The intent is to connect with you.
Correct.
Is to connect with you.
He
Whether he succeed or not is a different issue.
But he found a way. So that's what I'm trying. I've got millions of stories like that. So when in my book, The Human Connect, I always say, connect for somebody else's thing. It's all about the other person. So listen, body language, remembering names. How do you connect? How do you do something? So you realize you like a particular podcast. So you write a book. Aajkal kitna it doesn't cost. Amazon mein ship it to you, and just kind of
next day delivery.
So you get that thing, or that then you touch the human heart. Absolutely. Then they will say, okay, what can I do for you?
So to the listeners, what I'm saying is, there's a beautiful book, The Human Connect. It's not a very big book. There's no jargons. There's nothing. It's a very simple book which speaks about. There's some 15 to 17 chapters which speaks a very basic language which helps you in your growing in your business and as a professional, that it will help you in the future.
So here I like to say, thank you for talking so kindly. I would say this book will apply. We all have professional and personal lives, right?
Correct.
The fundamentals of that is the same. whether you're dealing with your parents, spouse, children, or in business you're dealing with your superiors, peers, subordinates. Fundamental principles will never change. And if you maintain that, there'll be equanimity or equilibrium in both your personal and professional life. And that's what I wanted to communicate, the touch points of how one should approach that.
So when you have written this book, sir, obviously, is Tiger 21 happened out of the principles or the fundamentals of what you have written? Is this Tiger 21 happened because of that?
So I don't think only because of that. I think there are various aspects of Tiger 21. It's an evolution. So I'll tell you how Tiger 21 happened. Of course, colleague of mine who had read my book, saw LinkedIn, kept looking at my Instagram and YouTube of my earlier podcasts and other things. And so then somebody referred Tiger 21 to me. I didn't know what is Tiger 21. 1 years about YPO, all the other peer-to-peer network EO platforms. I didn't know what is Tiger 21. So then it was just less than sometime couple of months back. He wanted to say, can we have a cup of coffee together? I met him at Willingdon Club. So he started talking to me, conversation with me, a very senior guy from the leadership from US, and explain. So he first was checking me out. Tum kya kar rahe ho, whatever else. I told him, tell me your entrepreneur journey, what is your ups and downs, all I shared with him. Then he said, oh, you're Tiger 21 material chair. I said, what do you mean by that? He said, no, so Tiger 21 as a philosophy, it's the world's largest peer group, peer-to-peer. So each chapter has about 15 people. And what are the qualifications of Tiger 21? It's not only having the wealth money, to be part of that.
I've read 5 C's.
Yeah, 5 C's. Absolutely. So there is that. Plus you have to have character, clarity, contribution, so all others. So, and what you call it, student of life mindset and all, learner mindset.
Absolutely.
Because when you're giving, you receive. Aspect of giving back, impact to society. So all these were there. And they said, you have the quality because we want, unlike other organization, Tiger 21 is conducted by a chair. So I said, okay, so what is the role of a chair? So to answer your question, that transition, and of course, because that's what I followed all my life. Okay.
Absolutely.
Then he said, so I said, what is the role of the chair? He said, the role of the chair is you have to be the conductor of the orchestra. The music is going to be played by the 15 members who are the extra HNI and ultra wealthy people. But you have to have the gravitas, the mindset, the maturity to manage the monthly meeting. To understand the fundamental principles, which, to answer your question, I learned all my life, practice it. So Tiger 21, it's been right place, right time. It's an evolution for the company.
So what happens in Tiger 21?
So very interesting. Tiger 21 is a peer group established last 25 years. We have currently 1,650 members globally. There are about 110 chapters globally spread across the world. Started largely with North America. Now it has grown to Canada, which is part of North America, of course, and Europe, and they opened chapters in Dubai, Singapore, and they've come to India. So what does Tiger 21 do? So it's like so there are 5 aspects. So sometimes you have a liquidity event, you made money. So in Tiger 21 it is, you should have an investable asset of $20 million upwards.
I've read it, yeah.
So usme kya hota hai? They talk about monthly meeting, they talk about different things. One is wealth preservation. When you made money, you need to preserve the wealth.
Absolutely.
Second is wealth diversification. Okay, I've invested in this. Who else? So imagine you have a trusted board of 14, because you're part of the 15, trusted board of advisors who are there in the same thing with you and who are giving you advice.
Correct.
Without solicitation, they're not selling you, they're not broker, they're giving you unadulterated advice. That's one. Third, they talk about family dynamics. With wealth creates a lot of issues. So family dynamics. Sometimes you have family dynamics which you can't even share with your own family, or you have challenges, but you have a peer network which talks about that. And then they talk about health issues, longevity, because nowadays longevity, proper health, eating dynamics, scanning, doing body, they talk about that. And the last is impact giving. How can we give back to society? I'm sitting on so much money. I'm philanthropy. So these are 5 interesting aspects which happen in Tiger 21. They meet once a month. The group meets once a month, and they keep and it's a very trusted network.
Yeah, I've read it.
It's like very trusted, and I was discussing with your colleague, you can be vulnerable. You come out with challenges which you might not even discuss with your spouse. You will share it because you know this is a sacred space you're sharing.
Absolutely.
And you're going to get invaluable advice without any agenda.
Okay, this is going to expand in India further to
So
cities?
we're going to have many. So New York alone has 12 chapters.
Wow.
So Mumbai, I feel, are going to have many more chapters.
Potential.
Bangalore, they've started a chapter. I think it's going to be Delhi, Hyderabad, your
Yes.
city. I'm sure they're going to come in because India is growing. India, the number of wealth generators in India have grown tremendously. And I feel something like Tiger will also give them a global mindset, access to the global mindset.
Absolutely. There's a larger picture in MG's life is going to happen with Tiger 21.
So what I realized, it's a beautiful journey for me. I'm going to be running a chapter as a chair. I'll be now, in fact, when I was in Lisbon, when you're talking about, there were only the chair meetings were also there. So we all chairs are meeting.
Correct.
So imagine the way they are selecting chairs. That means the chair, 110 chairs are top end.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
So then that we actually do a complete profile check. We do a background check. Even if he's got the money, is it an ill-gotten wealth or whatever else?
What sort of
it
money?
is.
Yeah.
What sort of money as a character important? So with all this, so my summary of Tiger is, it's here to stay. It's globally expanding all over the world. In today's work, coming back to my network, you're plugging into a global network. Now I can give you examples like, and everybody is there to help you.
Absolutely.
Each chair and a member is out to help you, and the chair is a very respect. So I don't work for Tiger, I'm a consultant with them. It's an independent contracting. But the respect they give the chair, that I have to manage those board of advisors and the members in such a way. So obviously they felt, for me it was validation. They felt I had the gravitas, I had the mindset to manage such people and also sit across. So for me, that is where it is. I feel from an Indian perspective also, India will gain a lot. There could be global people looking at India for investments. Absolutely. So a lot will
going to be sectors.
I think we have a place in the sun for a long time.
Yes.
The story has just begun.
At the time of COVID, prior to COVID, you have ventured into a Vera healthcare. At that time, now people talk about healthcare, AI into healthcare. It's happening in US. Mental health and well-being. A lot of AI apps are getting developed and a lot of research is getting done. So how did this idea of Vera start?
So very interesting, and this gets me very passionate about it, as with others, is that the idea of Vera Healthcare came in where I felt, and in COVID, why it happened? Because we felt that health could be democratized, and I'll answer that question. So we picked up the subject, and as I told, I work in the rural villages where I do a lot of work, healthcare. So the idea came up with that to get the best doctors, specialists, all that, to get them to a village level is very tough because we can't afford them, they're not available, or they're busy with their practice. So how can we take that thing to them? So then we did it. So the whole evolution came. We said, let's look at one subject, which is a universal subject, and we came to retina.
Okay.
The human eye has something called as a retina. I am being fundamental for the audiences. So retina is a window to the body.
Absolutely.
पहले जमाने में डॉक्टर बोलता था, they used to just put a torch in your thing and an eye.
Yeah.
So we used to wonder क्या कर रहा है वो. So now, so ultimately, it's the retina is the window to the body. So to answer what Vera, so Vera talks about, so what we realize that if we can look into the eyes have the markers to the whole body. So eyes can tell you, retina can tell you early stages of diabetes. With diabetes happening, there is a disease called diabetic retinopathy and other eye-related diseases. With diabetes, with retina, you can also pick up whether you have cardiovascular.
Oh.
Yes, diseases. Some forms of cancer. And then last but not the least, Alzheimer's. So retina has got certain markers which picks up Alzheimer's, which is now becoming a very, very big cognitive mind-related issue for the older senior citizens.
Yes. Okay.
Now, fortunately, in India, we have a lot of patients available, all that. We take consent. We started screening the patients at length.
Okay.
When we screen the patient, we look for those markers. So, for example, in retina, there are markers like microaneurysm, cotton wool, etc. I don't want to get too technical for this conversation. And then we gave it to one of our co-founders, is a AI trained data analyst. We told him, "Ye model ko train karo."
Okay.
So we trained the model. So what is it? It is data, training the model. So it's A for apple. If you tell the AI it's A is for apple, B is for bat, C is for cat, it trains. That's how the AI model works. So we trained the model, and there is a lot of data required that. So we had a lot of data. So we trained that, and we went to about 98% accuracy. Now fast forward, Now imagine, and the beauty is when you go to an eye, I'm just relating it to the audience, is आँख में कुछ problem होता है, we go to an ophthalmologist or all that, and they put eye drops.
Correct.
So we realize there is something called as a fundus camera. Without dilating the eyes, you can look in the retina. So that's not developed by me, that's developed by somebody else. So we use that non-invasive fundus camera because medico-legally it is safer.
Yeah.
That means I can train a blue-collar technician
Correct.
to look at the eyes.
Yeah.
So we did that. Once we did that, so that's how the data model happened. Now, what we are doing in Vera is going to Alzheimer's and various other diseases, and then we realize, can it be a way to make it portable and affordable? Because ultimately healthcare and the early screening and detection is the key.
Correct.
Whether it's heart
Diagnosis
issue,
is key. Yeah.
Diagnosis is key.
Yeah.
So now with AI diagnosis, and thanks to COVID and all that, diagnosis is the key. So now what we are working on, so we have figured the technology AI aspect. Now we are figuring, can our mobile become that fundus camera? So for that we are working on a lens which will be attached on the mobile camera. We're still working on it. And imagine if every guy can move around with that lens, and you can click it to your own household person, or a medical social worker or a ASHA worker at the ground level can click a person eye, it goes to the cloud and it tells you a diagnosis. Can you believe the transformation which will happen? So that's what Vera Healthcare stands for.
So we'll come back to my fundamental questions of being an entrepreneur, sir. When we say the entrepreneur, there are two things. One is a successful entrepreneur, and one is there's a failure. Okay, there are a lot of journey happens, as you can say, three segments which are looking at. One is a family-owned business. This generation is going to take over because the father is going to retire, or he's going to supervise, or he's going to get into other things, philanthropy or something. How is this younger generation is ready to take over the family business, and what are the things they should look at? Is first point you need to address.
So for me, again, I'll give you the answer in a different way. Fundamentals is have mental resilience.
Okay.
हम लोग miss out कर देते हैं. Mental resilience. Anything you pursue, you're going to see ups and downs in your career, professional, working. There'll be days which are challenging.
Absolutely.
So if you see the success stories of people, those survived COVID, did all that, whatever, mental resilience. If you and believe in yourself, it's not easy, it's easier said, but when you get challenged, when you don't have a paycheck coming on time, when you have to run your household expenses, pay your EMI bills, all that. So I'm saying from a lot of practical wife or father will say, how much money should I put? Wife is pawning the jewelry, do that. But entrepreneur, why they choose? So I'm giving fundamental aspect, whether it's a family generation, entrepreneur, or somebody who's working. Fundamentals are same. What, why, what, how in life, what do you want? So if for an entrepreneur, he's willing to take the risk. Entrepreneurs have mortgaged their house. They have sold off the bigger house, gone to a smaller house. Wife's gold. They have taken money on EMI. They are till the last thing. But that belief, ठीक है, fail भी होगा, क्या है, करेंगे ना, फालतू खर्चा नहीं करना, ये खर्चा, whatever. So it also puts a discipline, sense of discipline in that. So an entrepreneur should have discipline. Again, we are all very optimistic about our idea.
Yeah.
We all feel our car will become a plane and it will fly.
Yeah.
सबको लगा रहा है मेरा एक बार कार को ना हम plane बनाएंगे. I'm just giving an example. So everybody feels his or idea. We get very passionate and emotional about idea.
Yeah.
That is where teamwork, somebody, peer group, I call it the mastermind also. You call 7-8 people who are very close to you, who are your well-wishers, who will say, do the pros and cons, do a SWOT analysis, bhaiya, ye chalega, ye nahi chalega. And as an entrepreneur, so whether you're first I'm talking about entrepreneur does not have a fallback, but if he decides, aage ghus gaya, paise bhi nikal gaye, or now he should be able to pull back and say, okay, so I made a mistake.
There are two things. One is burnout, your burnout ratio. That I like an idea, so I started my business. You should have a check how you're burning that money, because you fill up team, you do that, and then you don't execute. In 3 months, you end up burning the money. And the second is, I think one of the authors said is that your CCC, cash conversion cycle, is very important in business, in today's business, to run a business, whether it is family owned or any business. So how do you see that?
See, again, fundamentals, capital to chahiye. The cash element is needed. You need to know how much is available, how much fuel you have in the tank to go through. Do you have 1 year's fuel? Do you have 6 months
Absolutely.
fuel?
Backup.
Whatever else it is. And what is a backup plan?
Yeah.
So let's say in a couple where the husband and wife are working and the wife is an entrepreneur, if she fails, loses whatever, the husband's income is coming in.
Correct.
Okay, so there are various dynamics in the whole field. Or sometimes father has a ex-child retired income है, वो बेचारा अपने पैसे में से दे रहे थे, बच्चे का ड्रीम होना चाहिए. So there are various scenarios.
Have you seen any in recent times or any entrepreneur? This generation has taken up the father's business and with his mind and the new changes.
A great example, Nitish Mittal Sen of Nazara Technology.
Oh,
His father I knew, Vikas Mittal Sen, who built the business, did a great job. And Vikas has told me he's a good friend. He's gone through his own journeys of failure. There's that textile mill mein tha, ye wo sab kar ke, while saw his thing. And Nitish learned through all that. And then he realized, but again, Vikas built up the business.
Correct.
But then Nitish, coming from a mindset, he watched all this. He was a technology buff. बचपन से ही कुछ ना कुछ tech का करता था. And then suddenly he got into this idea of gaming and Nazara technology. He built it up. Today it's a unicorn.
Absolutely.
Young,
Nazara Technology.
Young. So this is an example I'm giving you that he saw it, course corrected it, built it up, and his father is very proud. And
Absolutely.
so are we. And young boy, very great temperament, build businesses, acquiring companies left, right, center. There's one example I can give you right
that's
now.
right. You have a legacy, and then somebody jumps in and
He
take it
scaled it up.
Scale it up.
And there could be others जहाँ पर बाप ने पूरा बनाया है, वो स्टार्टअप में गया है, उसने पूरा उड़ा भी दिया. Nothing wrong or right.
Absolutely.
See, some work, some doesn't work. It is like balanced mindset, going after it, knowing and doing a temperature check.
Correct.
So I feel for entrepreneurs, you have to have strong conviction. You will fail.
You'll fail.
You will fail many times.
Okay.
But the failure has to, you have to keep then checking, अच्छा मैं fail हुआ, मैंने क्या गलत किया. Understand that you are not the smartest guy. Again, same principles. Surround yourself with people, know where you failed, go back and say, I failed on this angle, let me go here. So you should know where failures are stemming from. अच्छा opportunity ये market में नहीं है, यहाँ पर है.
Yeah.
Like for example, somebody in healthcare told me, Vera, India is not the market for you. You have to be in the US.
I know. Yeah.
US is insurance is paying you. So I actually pivoted. India we're doing development.
Correct.
And US I'm going to be marketing the thing because insurance pays me
Absolutely.
100x more than what India screening will pay me.
Yes.
India I will do diagnostic for social work.
Correct.
But the commercial market, so I had to pivot, right? मैं बोलता नहीं यार इंडिया में ही करना है, नहीं इधर ही आएगा market. But I realized it doesn't work.
But you are ready for the product. So that.
Yeah, but course correction I had to do. Na? First, my whole principle was built on the India market.
Yeah.
Now I pivoted. I said, no, US, European market is going to give me more
Absolutely.
ROI in terms of screening, not this. But what I'm trying to say, course correction, it's not a failure, moving on. It's also how you define failure. Surround yourself with positive people. They say, na, if you know that 5 people or 7 people you hang around with determines your life, personal life, professional life. So I think surround yourself with positive people. Also give a rain check. Who give you a reality check. खाली चढ़ाने वाले नहीं, तुसी great हो, अरे सब हो जाएगा. You know, if there is wrong, somebody has to call out and say, no, this is Niranjan or Manoj, you're going wrong here. बहुत भाग रहा है, तू जरा slow down कर. Take a breath. So I think it's all a combination.
The fundamental question of any human being is, first thing is habits, and second is that your giver mentality, which is your core values. So can you say that failure stories or some is what is that they should do to be to come back in lives?
Same fundamental. So first to answer your question, yeah, I fortunately can be as comfortable with my driver, watchman, cook, or King of England. Doesn't, so you have to socially behave differently, but if you are economist and if you are sorted in your mind, doesn't matter.
Correct.
So you have to just know where to behave what, and that comes through practice and learning and self-learning, contextual, social intelligence, which I've also written in my book, behavioral pattern, all that. So then your second related question was, and thanks to that, I also learn. So when you sit with a diplomat, you learn international nuances. You know you have to listen well. You know how to socially course correct. So these are all learnings. And again, you have to have a student of life mindset to pick up those things, absorb it in your life, and know what are your gaps. Correct. And improvise on that. That's one part. Now coming to the learning aspect of that, you were saying failures ka learning, but that was the related question.
Yes.
But same fundamentals, get up, depression, again, I'm saying people use terms of depression, the youngsters. Here I would like to say, please stop comparing. We are living in a comparative generation.
Absolutely.
I'll bring another angle to that. Sometimes failure is because we compare ourselves with others.
Yeah.
But you don't know what they're putting up on Facebook or Insta or LinkedIn are true or not. Sometimes you wonder, मेरे साथ शुरू हुआ था वही था कॉलेज में स्कूल में, आज देखो कितना आगे निकल गया, हॉनोलुलु में हनीमून कर रहा है, वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमिक फोरम में बात कर रहा है, ये है वो है, मैं तो इधर का इधर ही अटका. Don't go on all that. Your journey is within yourself.
Absolutely.
Learn from the others. Sometimes it's fake, sometimes it's only for the internet or for the social media. But don't get carried away. Your comparison is only to yourself. The youngsters look at you, but if you say something and do something else, they will not respect you.
And if you have to give in terms of human connects, 5 tips, a major, it can be one-liner or anything.
I can give you 500 tips, but I'll give you 5.
5, yeah. Please.
One is, if you promise somebody something, follow up.
Okay.
To give an example, आप किसको मिले, उसने बोला मुझे ये काम है, हाँ हो जाएगा, don't worry, पर next day उसको follow up करो.
Okay.
लिखो, आपने बोला था, I remembered this, I will try to, so word, that trusted factor is very important.
Okay.
Be a good listener.
Yeah, listening is key.
आजकल सुनने वाला नहीं है किसको. So
सही.
being a good listener will already win you because somebody wants to share.
Correct.
Okay. The trusting comes in with that. Good body language. Okay. When we are talking body language, मैं इधर नहीं देख रहा हूँ, मोबाइल फोन पे नहीं देख रहा हूँ, यहाँ नहीं देख रहा हूँ, वो क्या कर रहा है. I am talking about body language. People.
Dinner पे बैठा हूँ.
Non-verbal communication is 85% of communication today.
Oh.
It's scientifically proven. आप ChatGPT में भी check कर सकते हो, Google search में. That is non-verbal. How you say it, bold. If I close my hand, and if I'm ऐसा कर रहा हूँ, उधर देख रहा हूँ, means I'm disconnected with you. Okay. Remembering names is very, very important. And I always believe staying in touch. These are my simple
Correct.
formulas. And all I say is, have curiosity.
Yeah.
Have a learning mindset. Because if you have curiosity, आपको पता लगेगा दुनिया में क्या क्या चल रहा है. Or then you become an interesting conversationalist.
Yes.
If you're inquisitive. If you're interesting, आप किसको भी मिलो ना.
Yeah.
So you meet somebody, what is you connect with people, right? With
Correct.
some context.
Absolutely.
I tell it, conversation with context.
Correct. Correct.
Conversation with content is very important. And content कैसे आएगा? Conversation because you are inquisitive, you're learning, you're listening to podcasts, you're listening to others, you become more knowledgeable in life, then you can talk about everything under the sun.
Correct.
And so every time you don't have to give a solution.
So a lot of times you thank you for the guidance or the suggestion. Thank you for listening to me.
Listening,
and
आपको solution नहीं देना है हर time. हमको लग रहा है अरे you don't have to fix all the problem.
Correct.
You have to listen.
Beautiful. This is, yeah. What are your experiences with diplomats, and what are the things we can learn from this diplomat?
So learning is, I think the same human principles apply. You have to understand international culture, international behavior, like they want the space and privacy.
Correct.
So once you know them, it's the same principle. So it's like a currency, right? So people know, I know only diplomats, they'll say, Manoj, mera ye visa, ye issue, wo issue. I don't, unless it's an emergency, I don't trouble them.
Absolutely.
Because it's your currency, it's your debit or credit balance which you have. And forget diplomat, it applies. So diplomats, it applies more so. So you have to be respectful.
Absolutely.
They should not think that we are only here to keep relationship because of some advantage. No. We are here, they have to learn from me, I have to learn from them. So I've created that respect. Because of my global travel, I've understood you have to, same principle, listening, this, that, giving them space. If there is like 4th of July happened now, I wish my American friends happy 4th of July.
Correct.
Relevant, contextual.
Yeah.
If there is some other national day, we will go wish them. So it is all those aspects, the finer sensitivity, the finer nuances of building relationship, looking at the world globally, culturally. Like, can you believe it? Yesterday I saw Argentinian consulate had kept a private viewing of a movie called Tango Malar.
Okay.
कल देखा मैंने. There's a movie about auto rickshaw driver in Pune who suddenly discovers love for tango.
Okay.
And tango is from Argentina.
Correct.
And how, so this whole movie is taught and he learns tango. वो पहला YouTube में देखता है, फिर उसकी sister के साथ as a partner he learns the tango dancing and all that. And then the translation to India, Argentina culture.
Okay.
I just saw that yesterday. So there is a cultural thing. We are
Correct.
so many culturally connected. So there are so many commonalities. So if we discover it and see it from that eyes, I believe the current problem in the world where what all is going on,
Absolutely.
if you understand from the cultural love, not differences,
Respecting it.
that will become, it will also get world peace.
So I will, the book beautifully written, sir, which is without any expectation, you make a good human connect, the universe will give back to you and come back to you with a good deeds.
Niranjan, on a lighter note, I'm going to do more podcasts you because you're promoting my book.
So one of the biggest challenge, I think, you have a lot of corporate friends, and the average age of a middle manager or a senior manager today is around 40 to 50. And at this age, a lot of managers have a challenge of doing the same job monotonous, not learning and not updating their knowledge. So there are a lot of gaps between organization and employees. One of the fundamental things I observed is there's a gap of training and coachings. So any recent experiences that where are we going wrong if you have?
So I believe coaching is evolved. As a coach, because I do professional business coaching, especially on networking and productivity growth and personality development, my thing is where coaching is going wrong, it is gone are the days when you can give gyan and get out.
Okay.
It has to be practical. So for example, in my workshop which I do for corporates, so let's say there's a mid-level wealth management corporate who want me to do workshop, I actually do breakout sessions from them. When I apply principles of listening, I make them do listening sessions. I make them do body language sessions, remembering name sessions. So when you apply, so you give the knowledge, gyan, give the framework, how to apply it and use it.
Correct.
So it's like हम जो use करते हैं वो हमको समझ में आता है.
Sahi.
And you know, then you make it a habit. So I break that formula, play it back to them, tell them. So what I've seen is in my workshop when I do it practically, and if we do role plays following up on that, that helps in them bringing a transformation, a change.
Okay.
And that change happens. So for example, if there is a business development guy is out to get business, so same principles I apply, listening, he's come to you, you're listening to him, you're asking about the other person, what do, what do the parents do? So suppose that person, now I'll give an example, let's say you know the person whom you're meeting.
Correct.
So I know I'm meeting Niranjan, who's an entrepreneur, who's also doing work in Dubai, real estate, everything. So when I meet you and I know about a family, and if I start listening to and talking to you and say, Niranjan, oh, I saw your wonderful post, podcast, and I start about all that, and eventually then come to business, the connect is stronger.
Absolutely.
So talk about the other person interest. You could be a cat lover, a pet lover, a plant lover, whatever, a loving cross-country hikes, or a trekker, marathon runner. Those are more interesting, is, you know, so I think those elements which I teach, and if they apply, I've seen their productivity shoot up. I apply those principles and we've got transformational breakthrough, not from Gyan, for the particular companies which have touched, how the productivity of the individuals have gone up. आपको अगर कुछ दुख रहा है हाथ में तो आप पहले तो ब्लड टेस्ट लोगे.
Absolutely.
मैं उसके बिना बोलूँगा अरे बॉडी पेन है, क्रोसिन भी लो, ये भी तो, all that I can't give you all the medicines, right? So my simple is first identify, after a diagnostic check, you have a problem. Now where is the problem? Okay. Now
process में हो सकता है.
Process. Then go to, okay, the problem is identified with X. Go deeper. Okay, so my eye is a problem. Okay, that's it. I can't see. Okay, then okay, is it cataract? Is it retinopathy? Is it what? Then I go to that specific super specialization. Okay, so same way I understand. If the person say ye bhi, I said no. I understand the problem statement. Then I said, what do you want a solution out of that? Based on that, I ask them questions. Okay. I get into fine point. Then I know, okay, when I do my transformational business coaching, then I customize my program to that end. Target audience क्या है? Senior management है, junior management है, sales staff है, whatever else it is. Or the
you are addressing the point, pain point.
Pain point, then customize my, because it's not one size fits all. You have to go deeper into the coaching thing. Otherwise, ज्ञान दे दो, निकल जाओ. You will get that one time thing.
Yeah, you will.
But I want impact to happen. I want, and that's what I want to also tell the youngsters, whichever thing you do, whether coaching or anything is business, go how to make a difference. The moment you realize that, success will follow you. Very had set up a community center.
Even today you go, right?
I go there every Thursday if I'm in India. And so I visited that center and I started interacting with the rural, really poor people, marginalized community. And I started, by little impact we were doing in healthcare, just talking to them. It was not only about giving money, and the warmth it gave or the return they gave back, I thought it was priceless. And from there I said, agar itne dene mein itna khushi milta hai, and that used to get me energized. Then I said, why don't I apply that to everybody?
So, was there a catalyst that made you choose impact over income?
So catalyst, honestly, my guru, my dad has been my catalyst all along, because he's always told me, whether you do business, whether you do it with impact, do it with passion to create impact,
Correct.
then income will follow.
Absolutely.
कभी कभी हम इनकम को आगे करते हैं, एंड नथिंग राइट और रॉन्ग,
Yeah.
बट आई एम सेइंग, मैंने देखा जब आप इम्पैक्ट के पीछे बैठो, एंड फॉर द यंगस्टर्स हु आर वाचिंग इट, यू गो आफ्टर द पैशन, मनी विल फॉलो.
When did relational synergy or competition become your personal compass?
तो यू नो बहुत अच्छा स्ट्रॉन्ग सवाल है. व्हेन आई लुक एट द होल द वर्ल्ड इज वेरी कॉम्पिटिटिव. डॉग इट डॉग, एवरीबडी इज आउट टू ईट अवे और लंच, डिनर, ब्रेकफास्ट, व्हाटएवर एल्स इट इज. बट यहाँ पर मैंने देखा, यार इतना कॉम्प्लेक्स दुनिया है, सब मारा मारी कर रहे हैं, ये है वो है, बट कैन आई स्टेप अवे एंड नॉट बी पार्ट ऑफ दैट vicious circle and be part of the virtuous circle and give a mindset of givers, helping others and all that. That's what in fact helped me grow, because then if there are opportunities, people said, yaar Manoj, tere liye, I want to bring that business to you.
Correct, absolutely. So that brings to me a question. Tell me about the decision that didn't make sense to the world, but you followed through it.
So this I would always say Vera Healthcare, because during COVID time we built this platform, we could not pay salaries, पता नहीं था कोविड कभी एंड होगा. लॉट ऑफ पीपल, माई इंक्लूडिंग माई फैमिली, सेड लेट्स शट इट डाउन बिकॉज यू आर टेकिंग स्ट्रेस एवरी डे, ऑल दैट, एंड वी वर putting money from the savings, and we didn't know where the end in sight is.
Absolutely.
But I said, let's stick to it, because I believe, yaar, ek to, because, and I also say that because of the travel opportunity I lost being the first travel portal.
Absolutely.
I said, यार मरने के पहले ऐसा तो बोलना चाहिए कि इसने कुछ करके गया.
So learning.
So my Vera healthcare learning, and I wanted to do that and leave a mark, and then said, what will people remember? I democratized healthcare. So that was my thing.
Who have you mentored, funded, or uplifted quietly? I mean, like
Quite a lot of people. So I'll tell you, from smallest to there. So there has been a singer. I'll take his name also. His name is Josh, and he had come from Pune. He was here, great singer. He's done cut-off albums. He sings across. He always needed, and again, COVID time was tough time for them, because musicians are like job workers, right?
Art and creativity.
Art and creativity. तो आज काम नहीं है तो tough है.
Correct.
So at that time I not only mentored him, guided him, told him, no, you have the talent, you go ahead, this is how you should look at, now do shows over Zoom, do this, because entertainment. So I think personally in my life I've touched him and couple of other musicians and artists who I told them, your time आएगा, keep your cost low, भले sharing apartment में रहना है, no, but your talent is there, and hone the talent, do more rehearsals. So I believe they looked up to me, I mentored them, and they continue to look at me as a mentor. So those are aspects, and there are many youngsters I've spoken to over the period of time. They have come to me. There is one lady whom I know, she said, can I send my son there? Father, sometimes बोलते ना, your own parents give you advice, you don't listen. Outsider will do the same thing.
Yeah.
So they have come to me, and I have guided them, I have told them. And so one parent had said that my son doesn't want to do engineering, he wants to do some gamification. And we are insisting. He came to meet me. I heard him. I told the parent, नहीं उसको gamification का, उसको engineering में interest ही नहीं है. But because I told the parents also, they understood.
Correct.
The guy got his thing that, तो ऐसे करते रहता हूँ.
Absolutely. More engineer in the
yeah, बहुत है. तो मतलब try करो, follow your path, follow the, कुछ नहीं होगा, वापस engineering करो आके. But no regret कि आपने नहीं किया life में.
Absolutely. That is 100%. So how did remembering names, listening deeply, I think we spoke, and intentional touch points shape your leadership, sir?
So honestly, I thought earlier I was a poor listener.
Okay.
I went for a couple of sessions and heard podcasts, then I understood the power of listening. Once I understood the power of listening, it comes to that part of body language where you are deeper listening. You made a bigger connect, because in today's time, as I was mentioning in my earlier, nobody's got the time to listen. It's a lonely, at the top lonely world, because we are all self-obsessed. So when you listen to somebody, uska dukh raha hai, uske you like listening to it, you learn and when you're listening to learn, you learn. So that helped me aspect as far as that is concerned. Remembering name is very important. Like if I know like Niranjan, and if I call you up and I remember you and I keep in
Feel
touch
happy.
with you, you feel happy. So these
Yeah.
are again fundamental. ये diplomat है, international है, world में apply करता है.
Yeah, that's when I was doing this podcast also, my wife said, I'm going for this podcast with her. So the only advice she gave is listen more.
Correct.
While you're interviewing people,
And you're
or
following
doing-
that advice.
yeah, yeah. So there is a I better follow because I have to go back to home. But yeah, yes, sir. I think today's world need more listening than giving an advice. In one of the
And
previous
listening-
conversation,
And coming to empathy, EQ. हमारे पास IQ level है, आजकल EQ नहीं है.
emotional question.
Emotional quotient and empathy is the biggest. So what is empathy?
Missing, yeah.
Putting yourself, first understanding yourself and putting yourself in somebody else's shoes.
So that is missing in organizations. That is missing over
Empathy is
in
another-
leadership. That is missing in parental, how the parents behave. I think today's kids also need that kind of an empathy because
Very important.
they go through a lot of stress in the school and they.
Empathy is very important.
Because working class, I think you need to spend that time to give that kind of an empathy. You're right. Sir. I think listening and empathy is
EQ is
key,
very important.
Can you? What truth do you live by that most people find uncomfortable?
So I don't know whether truth or that seems like a very complicated question, but I will say, I always say, challenge yourself, be uncomfortable in a situation, and I always come out of I say the greatest learning happens in discomfort. In
Great.
fact, that's the word. You have to be frog out of the well. You have to go out of your comfort zone. Greatest level happens. So I'll give you a very odd example. I was in Lisbon, and so somebody, my travel agent, had booked for me last day when I was coming in. I'd finished my thing, and it was last. After a couple of hours, I had to take my flight. By mistake, instead of a hotel, my travel agent booked the hostel.
Oh.
And I'll give you an example of discomfort. So I went into a hostel, and I went into, so the lady said, go up, good location, everything, well done, nice AC. And I went up, मैंने देखा रूम में 4 bunker है. I said, यार बचपन में तो कर लेता था, अभी तो afford कर सकता, I can't. So I told the lady, no, I want to switch the room. I think there is a mistake. She said, no, but these are the only rooms I had. Now I had only 6 hours before I had to go to the airport. I said, अभी choice क्या है? होटल में तो जा नहीं सकता, यहाँ पर है. Let me. So and the toilet was outside. Okay. So I said, ठीक है ना यार, discomfort में रहते हैं. I went, showered, shaved, everything ready for the flight. And then I went in. There's some from Algeria. There were 3 bunker bed, and they are all talking, and one is putting the video loud. But I did not
an
find
experience.
it. But I said, let me use it as an experience. Roke matlab nahi na.
Correct.
But I learnt a lot. I learnt about 2 other cultures. I spent 2 hours with them.
Absolutely.
So it is not that, oh, arey, kya ho gaya, ye ho gaya, what do I do now? Panic,
Shout on them and.
Nothing, no, I'm not there. But it was a discomfort moment which I loved, I enjoy, and I learnt, and it also took me back from childhood. जब एक जमाने में हम ऐसे रहते थे.
The stations and all, yeah. They always
सब क्या है तो और?
So you
It's okay.
sometimes you revisiting
That's
the
okay.
experience and learn out of
should-
discomfort.
we're learning from everybody.
I think it is very important that when COVID taught us a lot of things, discomfort also teaches you a lot of things, good things. The way you look at things is
और
very.
मैंने और एक क्या किया, मैंने बोला डिस्कम्फर्ट, तो मैंने चलो एक ट्रिप आ गया, मैंने अभी थोड़ा डिस्कम्फर्ट और करते हैं.
हाँ.
जब जेब में पैसा हो और आप डिस्कम्फर्ट लो अलग बात है, पैसा नहीं हो और डिस्कम्फर्ट तो लेना ही पड़ता है. तो मैंने ऐसा और करते हैं. तो ऐसा चलो अभी एयरपोर्ट जाना है ना, मेरे पास तो बहुत टाइम है, ऊबर नहीं लेता हूँ, आई टुक अ लोकल सबवे देयर.
Wow.
मतलब कैसे, लेट मी फाइंड आउट, गूगल में सब अवेलेबल है. मतलब चलो वो बात भी चल के देखते हैं. ओके, तो ढूंढा सबवे में, ढूंढा बस लिया टू रीच द सबवे, ट्रैम नियर देयर एयरपोर्ट एंड ऑल दैट. बट आई वाज एंजॉयिंग द डिस्कम्फर्ट.
Correct.
Because I'm saying I'm not getting hassled by that. अरे फ्लाइट ही तो लेना है ना यार, वो भी 6 घंटे के बाद है, एयरपोर्ट में बैठने से अच्छा ये लेते हैं, ऊबर में तो 15 मिनट में पहुंच जाऊंगा. सो हाउ in discomfort shouldn't bother you. In fact, it should be a lesson for you and teaching. And I'm telling you last week's example.
Absolutely. How do you, this is a very important question, sir. How do you bridge a digital presence with genuine connections?
Very good point. Again, digital, there are pluses and minuses. So when I look at digital, there are a lot of things I want to check. I will check in ChatGPT. I will look at all your Gemini. I think tools are there to use. What I don't get carried away is by the digital oxytocin to see how many hits I've got, how many likes I've got. That addiction is not there. You can keep away. So I try to disconnect at times. It's tough, not easy. So I feel if you can balance, use digital to your advantage, not make it so invasive, so pervasive to your life that your life is dictated by who is like me or what is it and all that. So if you learn to distance and use the digital aspect, that is one part, to your advantage. There is huge merit in that, because information dissemination and democratization is the maximum in today's time.
Absolutely.
There's so much power on a mobile phone, all the mainframes in the world didn't have, right? And it's going to get better.
Absolutely.
So that is one. And so I would rather say in that, and then use personalization, as I said, by meeting people, going to coffee shops, doing a one-on-one. साली Zoom मत करो, मिलना है। कल मुझे 2 मीटिंग था, मैं घर पे गया उसको मिलने के लिए, मिला, आया था, उसका गुजराती था, उसके साथ घर पे खाना खाया, ये किया, broke bread with his family. So it was a lovely thing, a lot of learning for me.
Diplomacy over lunch or dinner.
I didn't even think that. I said just enjoy it. So one of the other discomfort thing is, there is something called as improv. Improv is in USA and Western world called improvisation. So what they did is, so I had it in my, so I saw them somewhere. I said, mere ghar pe, I called 7 people at my house. And what is improv now? They suddenly put you on the spot and they said, start clowning.
Oh.
Start laughing. But what is it? तो कैसा लग रहा है, ऑड लग रहा है, you're so formal, you're so structured, ऐसा एक business profile है, but I let myself loose that day. बोलता behave like a fool, whatever else it is, but you're putting your guard down, so be relaxed at times, do unconventional ways, make a fool of yourself.
What message would you leave for the next generation quietly watching you, sir? So what is the message?
I don't know whether they're quietly watching me or they like to watch me, but the message would be don't get too carried away by the digital world. Don't believe everything you see on the internet. There are a lot of manufactured videos happening.
Correct.
Stay self-motivated. Listen to podcasts. Visit
Read
your
books.
parents if you're staying separately. Make that call. Touch and play. Go out and play. Not only with your mobile phones.
Pick up the call on birthdays and wish them.
Pick up the call and birthdays. Wish.
Don't
go,
send a WhatsApp.
I'm not expecting them to do all that. But be little that. Be driven. Do that. There is so much information available. They are living in the best times in the world and the worst times.
Yeah.
So pick up the best things and, don't get into too much online gambling, online porn, stay away. Those are also negatives for every generation.
Absolutely.
Brings its own thing.
Be a good social animal.
Be a thing and then enjoy life and, have the physical, digital aspect and do a hybrid model.
Small rapid fire, sir. Book you always revisit?
Actually, the book I always revisit is Eckhart Tolle, The Now.
Okay.
I love it because this tells you to stay in the moment.
Well, staying in the moment is key.
Don't think about yesterday, tomorrow. Right now, what is happening is the most important.
Yeah.
It's by Eckhart Tolle called The Now.
No. Okay.
And The Now talks about being in the present.
Okay. Great, sir. First big networking blunder you did?
Giving away cards and actually gate crashing into a event which I was not invited.
A strategy or a spontaneity? What do you prefer?
I would now, it's a combination. You have to have strategy. If you have the combination of both, it's killer.
Great. Sir, home cooked dal, or a fancy fine dining in Taj?
I would anytime take home cooked dal.
I know. We had a first lunch at your home, the lovely made dal. One fear you're still working on?
The fear of uncertainty. The fear of your longevity, the fear of in this world what is happening, the uncertainty. Will there be a third world war? What would that be? There is that constant thing of the geopolitical fear.
Will there be another virus?
Or maybe another virus.
Yeah, correct. So that's something which you, and if not a strategist, you would have been you would have been
maybe
a chef.
A philosopher.
Okay, what would be your autobiography be titled, if at all? So,
my autobiography will be, I would write, so somebody told me, and more than the autobiography, I would say, the day I die, the day I die, there should be 10,000 people who should visit it's morbid, on my funeral.
That's good.
Because why? Because these are the lives I should have touched.
How do you look at India as an opportunity for entrepreneurs, for young people like outside world, because you interact with all these trade people, commissioners and the consulates and all. How you look at India as by?
I believe, I'm very optimistic. I think India is one of the shining stars in the global world already. our youth, our talent, our technology mindset, our capacity to consume. I mean, I'm just today example of UPI, GPay, and all these, all that digital health, all that. I think India will be the leaders, because why are Indian doctors the best doctors globally? Indian engineers, software guys, all that. And I believe what will change is, and I hope that change happens, that India also produces a Facebook, a Google, a Microsoft,
Yeah.
and we'll have more Elon Musk coming over here, who will disrupt, who will create, whether it's in defense, whether it's in technology, healthcare, all that. I feel we'll have more entrepreneurs supported by an ecosystem, and not only will we follow the world, world will follow us. And I'm very confident with the change happening and the mindset happening, that's sooner than later. I think 2047 is long way back. I expect that to probably much earlier.
10 years, and I think we will make inroads into EV.
That's already happening while we speak. So a lot of it could be humanoids, robot, all that. So many things happening in technology.
We have our own SpaceX and all that.
SpaceX, we'll have our own chip manufacturing facilities sooner than later. Semiconductor, all those touch on renewable energy, EV cars you're seeing. So I think all the sustainable movement is already on. It will percolate down. Hopefully the marginalized community, we'll see more people coming out of the poverty zone, the farmers looking at technology to get better crops, yield, all that. So I think all is happening. We of course have challenges of the whole thing, but I think the larger lot, educated lot, and with technology, also AI and multilingual languages coming up, all that will definitely, our demographic dividend and our demographic strength will play to our advantage.
I think with a better human connects,
we
are in for a prosperous and peaceful world together.
Let's hope.
Pleasure talking to you, sir.
Thank you
so much for your time.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you.